How to hang an interior door. This film will give you the information you need to hang a standard interior door. But before you begin the project, make sure that your new door is acclimatized to your home. You should lay it flat on an even surface for around 3 days inside to allow for any expansion or contraction. And always check the manufacturer's instructions for the door to ensure you fully understand how to proceed. You'll find a full list of tools and materials you'll need at the end of this video. After removing the old door, the first thing you need to do is cut your new door to exactly the right size for the frame. To work out if it needs trimming, stand it up in the door opening and use a pencil to mark the top of the opening on the door. Now, take the door out of the doorway and secure in a workbench. Transfer the measurement that you took from the door frame to the bottom of the door. Then add 3 mm or more, taking into consideration the thickness of your carpet. Now trim this away, making sure that you cut in a completely straight line across the door. Then, trim 3 mm from the top for clearance as well. Now ensure that the width of the door fits. If it doesn't, measure the door against the frame. Then, take this measurement and divide equally between the two sides. For example, if your measurement is 4 mm, that will be 2 mm from each side. Now trim this amount plus an extra 3 mm from each side for clearance. Now we need to get the door into the right position where it will eventually hang. You can do this by putting small wedges beneath the door, lifting it to the top of the frame. Ensure that you maintain an even gap of about 3 mm all around the door. Use the wedges to position the door in the middle of the space. Once the door is in the correct place, mark the position of the existing hinges at the bottom, middle and top onto your door using a sharp pencil. Remove the door, then position the hinges on the door using the marks you just made and draw around their outline. Then measure the thickness of the hinge plate and mark a line on the edge of the door to the same thickness. Now use a sharp chisel to cut around just inside the pencil lines, showing where the hinge will be situated. Then, hold the chisel at a 45-degree angle to the door frame and use your chisel to make stepped cuts to the required depth every 5 mm. It's easy to splinter the wood if you're chiseling with the grain, so ensure that your chisel is sharp and take care to make lots of little cuts rather than one big cut. Next, turn the flat side of the chisel towards the door and chisel out the recess for the hinge plate. Using the hinge as a guide, drill pilot holes in the door. This will decrease the likelihood of splitting the wood when you screw the hinge plate in. Once the holes are drilled, carefully screw the hinge plate into place. Pick up the door and place it against the frame so that it's in the position that it will be when it's open to 90 degrees. With the door in this position, put a screw through the bottom hole of the top hinge plate and screw into place. Next, fix the bottom hinge plate in place with one screw through the bottom hole of the hinge plate, before putting a third screw into the top hole of the upper hinge. Before putting any more screws in, check that the door opens and closes without catching anywhere. If it does catch, mark the area, remove the door, and make the necessary adjustments to prevent it from rubbing, either with sandpaper or a plane. If the door shuts cleanly, make any final finishes, such as painting the door or making cutouts for latches if required. Then, you can screw in the remainder of the screws, and your door is hung. Here is a list of the tools you'll need to hang an interior door. And here are the materials you will use. And this is the safety equipment.